I started my apprenticeship in Melbourne, I did it here, and then I got really passionate about Italian food, so I went straight to Italy. And I decided to move to London because Aussies always have lots of friends in London. I had a River Cafe cookbook in my bag, so I pulled it out, got the address, called them up, started work there the next day. And I worked there for about 7 months. I met Jamie Oliver working there before he was just on the verge of stardom. He approached me in Melbourne and said, you know, I want to do this idea called 15, I think we'll call it. I've got a location and it will be you, me and like 3 other guys, and we'll get all these kids in there from the street. I was like, okay, sounds pretty cool. It's up to me to make it happen. So I had to come back to Melbourne and find private investors. 15, contrary to a lot of belief, isn't funded by Jamie or God or some crazy thing, you know.
Sometimes a game, for those that wanna play. I
sort of finished my final year of school. I was 17, had no idea what I was going to do with my life. You know, I did all the shifts in the bottle shop and sort of started to work a couple of nights a week in the bar. But my boss taught me how to taste. It sort of dawned on me that wine was more than just sort of liquid inside a glass or a bottle, and it was actually this, I don't know, there was this kind of mental collision between art, history, science, Mother Nature, geography, people. That's what inspired me to want to go on and learn more about wine, and it's what inspires me now. And then I moved over to the UK and did 6 years working for Jamie Oliver, and we helped set up 15, Toby Puttock and I, my best mate. So it's a great thing to be able to do that with your best friend as well.
Look me in the eyes and tell me you were true. That's all I want from.
So we're doing a show called Back to the Future, which is basically going to be talking about, or boringly enough, our whole careers.
We sort of thought, would we do something from our days at 15? Would we do something from like Toby and Matt, the series we did for Lifestyle?
Or do we invent something new altogether? And we thought, let's not invent something new altogether.
That'll be too hard. And then we realised pretty quickly that we've been mates for over 20 years now. Yeah. And once we got over the horror that we had been friends for that long, we sort of, I don't know, we looked back at the things we've done together, as well as, you know, the early days, and thought there was some dishes there that have not only would be great to do, you know, that are classics, but they've kind of stood the test of time as well. And the way we've kind of structured our show this year, it's things that you could actually do as a dinner party if you want to do the whole lot as a meal. Basically, Toby's up there doing his demonstration. I'm going to try and ask some intelligent questions, so if you can think of any and jot them down, email them to me, that'd be really good. And then also, there's 2,500 people in some of the theatres, so I've got to kind of be out there and getting them involved as well. So
some of the shows will be 2.5, whether ours get that.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm going to try and stitch Matt up on stage as well this year. He doesn't know yet, but I'm going to try and get him to do a blind tasting and get someone from the audience to pour him the glass and see if he can guess it. I'll just straight out lie to him and tell him you got it wrong, you know.
Tell me if you were really true.
Yeah, we had to travel together on the road while we were filming this program. We went to Thailand. That was crazy. Everywhere it was. I don't know whether it was us, but every time we tried to get into a taxi and go somewhere, someone would try to take us to a brothel. And then I think that's just Bangkok. But then, you know, we'd literally go and try and buy, you know, groceries from the local store. We'd try to be taken to a brothel. You know, like, just weird. It might be you.
So the Cheese Matters Masterclass is at the Good Food and Wine Show. When you come along to the Cheese Matters Masterclass, it's a 45-minute tour of the world of cheese, and we take you through fresh unripened brie, camembert, Swiss styles, cheddar, parmesan, blues and wash wines. But it's not just about tasting the cheese, it's about matching the cheese with wine and also matching it with certain accompaniments. We stop and we think about the flavours that are released, the texture in your mouth, then we introduce some wine. And you think, well, what's that doing? Is there a complement at play? Is there a contrast at play? Is there a textural contrast? Is there a flavour contrast? And that's what we look at in the masterclass, is looking for the 3 C's, a complement, a contrast or a clash. And it's just when you take that time to think about that, it's really eye-opening. Those that come in as a cheese learner, they really do leave as a cheese lover.
Won't take away the pain, but leave me curious, but you're gonna let me